Musos Live. The reason I started off doing the good old fast is because of dear Al Foster. Mwah. He's left the building. One of my favourite drummers, drummer to Miles Davis for many years, and so there's going to be a little bit of a tribute to Al Foster. You've got to get to know your Miles Davis albums and stuff, and he just had such a wonderful groove. And one of the things about Al Foster is that some of those early 70s albums by Miles Davis, when he went sort of funk and all that, you'd get things like Ag Harter, the album Ag Harter, which I'll put up there. As a matter of fact, the whole night's going to be up there. I just put it all up behind me. And yeah. So on it goes like that, straight ahead, but what a groove and what power. Oof! There you go. Anyway, what I was going to do today, and I still am, is a little thing. I'm going to bring it right down to basics a little bit. 3 ways to rhythm, okay? 3 ways that you can get rhythms going, okay? And I'll get started on that, and then I'll do a little bit of a tribute to Al Foster sort of thing, and there we go with that, okay? Now, 3 ways to rhythm. Okay, now, as you could see, I was doing that, and loud and raucous, and there you go. So you go, oh. Now, what that is you actually just have a normal tap. Now, if we're going to treat that as quavers, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and now, this is basic tonight. Every now and again, I go back to basics, just so people can say, oh, that's what it is. A lot of people can already play it, but maybe they don't know the names, all that stuff. You know, you don't want to be caught on a bandstand and someone saying, oh, give me a twist feel. And they go, what's that? And you go, so, basic rock beat. Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's basic. If you put in a double tap, a twist. If you put in a 4 on the floor, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, going very quickly. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 on the floor beat. Akadaka. Down. Da down. Da down. So on. You see. Then half time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Back to normal. Then a cut time. 2, 3, 4. Still tapping just like that, you see. Soul beat. I'll stop there. Notice that everything that I did, what it was, I know I've got big ass Doras here, but I could have done that just on bass drum, snare drum, hi-hat. I've done plenty of gigs like that. There you go. And wonderful, you see. And what you can do is just keep the beat. And there you go. So what happens is there, you've got the regular, in this case, quavers. First way to get a rhythm, just keep doing that. And then what you put in with the bass drum and the snare drum. There's 4 possibilities. You can have, with the hi-hat, you can have a bass drum, you can have a snare drum, you can have both. Pretty woman. Someone like that. Or you could have nothing. 4 possibilities, you see. And then all those little combinations create those kinds of rhythms. You need to know it. There you go. When you start doing things like, I don't know, Led Zeppelin Heartbreaker, it just came to my mind then. Of course, that's going to change because what happens is that you've got your and then goes into cut time after Jimmy solo and all this business, you see. And it changes, you see. One of the great Beatles songs is We Can Work It Out, if you know that one. And it's a great song to teach 4 separate little rhythms. What happens is you've got the basic rock beat to start. Try and see it my way. I'll cut to the chase. We can work it out. We can work it out. Rock beat again. Cut to the chase and we can work it out. We can work it out. So it's a soul beat with a 4 on the floor. Fighting and fighting, my friend. And I'll stop there with the crappy singing and the warbling. And then, oh boy. And what goes on with that is that you've got all these different, you've got 4 basic rhythms there, all in one tune. And it's a wonderful one to teach students that are just a few months in, because there's no fill-ins. It's just those straight beats all the way through. And so it's like this one, that one. And I don't write the rhythms out. I just, like they're all in my book. And I just say soul beat, rock beat, waltz, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so on it goes. Now with that as well, you can go, I'm doing everything with quavers, but what I can also do is go into groupings of 3, you see, whether you call them triplets or in 12/8 or whatever it is. So on it goes. Now everything that I'm doing right now is with a cymbal, okay? So that's what goes on there. And then what happens is you put your bass drum and snare drum underneath and away you go. All right. Now that's the first way to rhythm and all that. And there you go. Now I'm going to talk about the second way to rhythm. And let's start with a good old single stroke roll. So you get... What are you going to do with that, you see? Now, what happens is accents. For those who have just joined, this is a very straight ahead, pretty much a grade 1 kind of lesson, so that you can get your basics down, get to know the names. You don't want to get caught on a bandstand or in a jam or something, and someone says, oh, give me a clave beat. And you go, ooh, like that. I got caught like that once when I was about 15. And the guitarist wasn't taking any prisoners. He made me feel that big. And I vowed, as soon as he started playing, oh, you're talking about that. And I put in every lick I knew just to prove it to the guy, you see. So you don't, and what I did was I just vowed when I started to teach, this is back in the 70s, that I would not let any of my students get caught. So that's the first thing that I'd like to talk about, or I have talked about. Now the thing is now is, as I said, the single stroke roll. I'm going to give you rhythms with accents. Now, with accents, once again, this is fairly basic business. I tend to work in thirds. So if I've got something, let's say 1 to 10, if I'm playing normal notes, just a normal single stroke at 3, the accent will be about 9, 3 3s. But it could be 2 and 6 or 1 and 3. Depending on what you want to do. Now the first thing you want to do is just get a nice groove going. So, little bump in the road. When you're just playing a straight single stroke roll, it's like a straight line. But what you want is a little bump. It doesn't have to be just a full-blown accent, but just a little heartbeat, right? You hear that little lilt? There you go. Single stroke roll, then you put in an accent. The first one is getting that. Then some of your main accents that you will always hear is the first one is known by many names, but the most popular one is the calypso. Follow with the bass drum. Embellishments. And then if you go to the floor tom and you do the calypso, and then that's the 3 of a 3/2. I want candy. Oh, God. Chris, what are you doing? Put in a 2 feel. Go for a walk on your pedals. All right, so you can get... 3/2 clave. You could do a reverse. So it's ba 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 ba, so on it goes, you see. Then if you're getting a little bit on the Latin side, you can do things like a samba. And I've got a Latin bass drum there. Here, and all things that go from that. You can do lots of different things. You can do a rumba. It sounds very much like a calypso style of thing, and there you go. So it's what starts to happen. Boom, boom. So on it goes. Conga. Get a few sherbets into you, and you got the old conga line at a wedding reception and all that business. There you go, and there it is there. All right, and there's that one. So everything here is going with a single stroke roll. Just keeping it like that. And as I said, I'm just keeping it very straightforward tonight, and 3 ways to rhythm. Okay, so the first one is just play a cymbal, and what you do with the bass drum, what you do with the snare drum underneath gives you the rhythm that you want, okay, which I've gone through. Now I'm doing the single stroke roll and different ways to do things, you see. And you've got a plethora, swallowed it in the dictionary, a plethora of rhythms that can come from just... About a month ago I did Genie Krupa, and his big one was Sing, Sing, Sing. So you can have that. That kind of thing. Not that I'm playing Sing, 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 but it was all when I sourced the Ed Sullivan Show clip when he was getting on a little bit, but he just had such a wonderful groove, and it was just that. I cheated then, I did a double tap. So on it goes. And then that blends itself into Sandy Nelson, the king of surfing drums, all this Let There Be Drums and everything like that, you see. So that comes from a single stroke roll and just a good groove. Notice I'm just doing a fair bit of 2 feel there, and if I just kept on doing it... Ready, Steve? And there. All right, fellas. The train beat. There you go, sort of thing. Usually with brushes too. And there you go. All right. Now, I'm going to take a break from that. And what I'm going to do now is talk about the wonderful Al Foster, who is one of my favourite drummers really for groove and all this biz. There you go. Here we go. He just, it was today when I found out, but it's Aloysius Tyrone Foster, known as Al Foster. January the 18th, not far off my birthday. 1943 to May 28, 2 days ago now, 2025, was an American jazz drummer. Foster's professional career began in the mid-1960s when he played and recorded with hard bop and swing musicians, including Blue Mitchell and Illinois Jacquet. Foster played jazz fusion with Miles Davis, that's how I know him best, during the 70s, as one of the few people to have contact with Davis during his retirement from 1975 to 1980. During Davis's retirement, Foster continued to play and record acoustic jazz with Sonny Rollins, Dexter Gordon, McCoy Tyner, Horace Silver, and other band leaders. You name them, all the stars. Foster played on Miles Davis's 1981 comeback album, The Man with the Horn. Memories. And was the only musician to play in Davis's band both before and after his retirement. I've got most of those albums on the good old vinyl. Oof. I love Star People. Oof. What a groove. Dead Slow. Oh, how did he keep that groove? A Dead Slow thing. Ooh. I think it was the title track. I know, I'll play it later. I'll put it. It's already up there. I've already put them up. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing that now. There. Ooh. Move on, Chris. Move on. Foster toured and recorded with Herbie Hancock, Sonny Rollins, Joe Henderson, and many other band leaders, primarily working in acoustic jazz settings. Foster also released several solo albums under his own name, starting with Mixed Roots in 1978. He's a wonderful man and great player. Just a wonderful big groove. We Want Miles. Wow, fantastic. Just so atmospheric, that kind of thing. Discography, it goes forever, but I'll go there, and what I'm going to do, there's a whole bunch of them, but I will just zero in on Miles Davis. Here we go. You've got In Concert live at the Philharmonic Hall in 73. You've got Big Fun, Get Up With It, Dark Magus, Aghata, Pangea, The Man with the Horn, aforementioned We Want Miles, Star People, Decoy, You're Under Arrest, that was a funny album from Miles Davis there, and Amandla. Basically from 74 through to, as I've mentioned, Miles Davis's retirement for 5 years, and then he came back in 81. So there's kind of like two halves with all that, up to Amandla in 1989, and there you go. And it just goes on and on and on with everybody else, and there you have it there. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll start to wrap the show up, but I have one more way to rhythm for you. But what I wanted to do was talk about Al Foster. He was 82, so what a life, and the people that he played with is just amazing. It was a who's who. Oh my Lord, there you go. And that's what happens. And Al Foster, mwah, there you go. Now, the third way to rhythm, let's get moving. Mixed sticking, of which paradiddles are king. Right, left, right, left, left. There you go. I talk about them a lot, and I really don't need to explain them that much. I do not think. There you go. But what I will bring up is the inversions, which I haven't talked about in quite a while, actually. So let me just talk about it a little bit. One of the things I do, put it this way, in my grade 1 book, when I first got my publishing contract back in the 90s, when I wrote the examination syllabus that's been used throughout Southeast Asia and all that sort of stuff. Shameless plugging, Chris, but it's there. And what it is I was told by the publishers, sort of thing, well, you're going to write a book for every grade, treat it like secondary school, year 7, year 8, year 9, 10, 11. And essentially, grade 1, and basically it's a book a year. So with the preliminary grade 1 book into 2, the basic instruction was try and make it, level with the piano and the guitar and everything like that. But try and keep it to, about 50 pages. The reason being, 52 weeks in the year. If you're going to do a book a year, okay, a page a week. There you go. Man, it's fairly simple logic. If you try and make it big and thick, you'll be there forever. And one of the things, so one of the things, I could have easily made the grade 1 book that thick, 100 pages. Like, here's the reverse paradiddle. Now here's the reverse on different drums. I just sort of said, just put a hand on a different surface. So if we're going to do a paradiddle, there it is. And do the same thing, you'll get the rhythm. There's the basis of Immigrant Song. I talk about that all the time, but that's not what the lesson is. Now, with an inversion, think about what the word inversion means. Now, if I did paradiddle, what happens if I did diddle para? Diddle para, diddle para, diddle para, diddle para. Heard that? Even if it's a bass line. It's a reverse paradiddle, you see. And then you can have an outwards where you put the double tap on the outside. So it could be right, left, 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 right. So what happens is you can have right, left, 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 and then start on the next right hand. So it'll be right, left, left, right. Then start on the next right hand. Right, left, left, right. So there's your, what am I doing again here? That's an outwards. Hui! Inwards paradiddle. You're starting on the last right hand. Who remembers Steve Gadd's Night Sprite off of the Leprechaun, I Am the Leprechaun album? And I remember that was just, it's an inwards paradiddle, I get it now. So, there you go. So it'll be boom, boom, boom. Oi! Then you can do all the same stuff with a double paradiddle and then a triple paradiddle. Oh my lord, you'll be there forever, but it's wonderful. One thing that you can do with a double paradiddle is you've got right, left, right, left, left, and you play that. Phrase it as triplets. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Put that in. African bell pattern. Funky, on the way to a Purdy shuffle, if you like. You could have ghost notes and the rest, and there you have it. Now they're the 3 things. I better get a wriggle on. What happens now is you've got 3 ways to rhythm, you see. So that's what goes on. So I'm going to love and leave you. And Al Foster. Mwah! There you go. My name's Chris Quinlan, and in honour of him, I'm going to raise a nice glass of